Well, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed by that. It's a point of discussion that we've had with regard to this bill. We have a lot of members in the Senate who are interested in perhaps including a repeal of the individual mandate as part of tax reform. But as of right now, I don't think any final decisions have been made about that. What we're trying to do is make sure that we put a bill out there and the House starts that conversation today that gives tax relief, tax cuts to middle-income families in this country so they can keep more of what they earn, and creates a tax code that creates the conditions that are favorable for economic growth and better jobs and bigger take-home pay for American families. That's what this effort's all about.
One of the questions has been whether those representatives from high tax states, California, New Jersey, New York, would be able to, or whether people in those states will be able to deduct state and local taxes from their federal income taxes. Apparently there is a compromise to deal with that plan, but one of the representatives from a high tax state who is not named came out of the meeting of representatives this morning and said he doesn't like the way the proposal has been cobbled together. Will your colleagues in the House be able to come up with enough votes to get this out of the House?
They will in the end. The House knows, just like we do in the Senate, that this is important. This is a commitment we made to the American people. We want to deliver on that. It's really important to our economy, John. If we want to get growth back in our economy, if we want to create those better paying jobs and higher wages, reforming our tax code is critical to that. It's long overdue. And so I think in the end they'll have the votes. There are going to be individual elements of this, features of this, that different members from different parts of the country will not like for whatever reason, but in the end the key is to get 218 in the House and 50 votes in the Senate and a bill that we can put on the President's desk that will move us in a direction that strengthens this economy, creates incentives for investment, and delivers tax relief to middle-income families.
We understand that the mortgage interest deduction will be compromised, that if you currently have and are paying a mortgage, you can keep that deduction. But once this bill is passed, the mortgage interest deduction gets capped at $500,000. I'm assuming that means mortgages up to $500,000 are deductible, and beyond that, no deduction. Does that sound like a workable compromise to you?
Well, I think it is, and I'm not sure exactly at this point because we haven't seen the final details where the House is going to end up on that. I know we're having that same conversation in the Senate. How do we provide and maintain an incentive for home ownership? We think that's a critical part of having a good, strong society. We want to encourage people to be able to buy homes, and the mortgage interest deduction has been key to that. So how that gets structured is still open to debate, but I think it's fair to say that both House and Senate and the White House all agree that mortgage interest deduction is an important element of our tax policy and an important incentive for home ownership in this country.
And the corporate rate gets cut from 35% to 20% under this plan, as we understand it. What does that do in your judgment?
Well, first off, the White House Council of Economic Advisors, John, has done some analysis that suggests that reducing the business rate from 35 to 20 increases annual household income by $4,000 per year. And there's another study out there right now that corroborates that. So it's important, I think, to get the business rate down, particularly for small businesses, encourage them to invest more, to expand, to grow their businesses. When they do that, they're looking to hire more workers. When there's a demand for labor out there, the price of labor goes up. It means higher wages and bigger paychecks, more take-home pay for American workers and American families. So reducing the business rate is critical to that. We've got to become competitive in the global marketplace. We're not today because we have the highest rate on businesses literally in the industrialized world, and that has to change, and this bill does that.
Well, of course, this bill starts in the House, as tax bills are required to do under the Constitution. We'll see what happens when it gets to you in the Senate. Senator John Thune
indeed.
of South